Greetings, everyone. It's October the 1st. My very favorite month is October. And I'm already ready for Halloween, except I don't know what the costume's going to be. But anyway, I hope that this week has been pleasant for everyone after the last several weeks where we had one major emergency after another. Um, Nothing happened this week. That was a real major emergency, so I'm going to knock on wood there. The day's not quite over with yet. Um, just a few things to talk about, actually. Of course, I got to talk about COVID. Yeah, we are still in areas of very, very high transmission, and that's partly because we are also in areas where the vaccination rates are very low, and transmission really goes crazy when the vaccination um, rates are low, when the people aren't vaccinated against the coronavirus as much. I worry about that too because if the coronavirus is going to mutate again, and after the Delta mutation, we certainly don't want another one. And it would be terrible if the next mutation was one that the vaccinations didn't even work on. But when a virus decides to mutate, do you know where it mutates more readily? In people where there's not a vaccination in play, because that vaccination has created a lot of antibodies, and the virus can't go crazy and mutate in a body where that's full of antibodies and everything. So I really hate to think about that with the high numbers of folks that we have out in our communities that are not vaccinated, and unbeknowingly, they could be, I don't know, little opportunities for the virus to get in and begin its terrible mutation. I don't really want to think about that. So let's don't right now. Let's think about something that is kind of good, though. We've actually had a decrease in cases. That's good news. Maybe the surge that happened at the end of August was as a result of school and some of that taking place. And maybe we've got a little bit of a break, but we've still got some worry coming. It happened last year when holidays hit us, when it started getting cooler and people didn't go outside as much. We had one of the most terrible surges we've had, one of them. Now, the Delta surge really put surges on the map, so to speak. So, we've still got to be very, very, very careful. Um, we need more vaccinations. That's all there is to it. We need more vaccinations. So, monoclonal antibodies, good news. Last week it was kind of bleh. We were not sure what was going to be happening, the changes in the supply ordering. It was a real challenge, and the unknown was really, really killing us. But we now know a lot more. We've gotten notification and received actual orders. We know what should be getting delivered. So maybe this thing is going to settle out a little bit with the monoclonal antibodies. We're still doing quite a bit because we have the supply to be able to do quite a bit. And Sweet Bee over there in Hartsville is rocking and rolling. We've got some folks that are providing our PR department, Amanda and Andrew Boardwine, information because our monoclonal antibody story amongst FQHCs is really big. I told y'all this last week, I think. There's only 60 FQHCs nationwide that are even doing the monoclonal antibody infusions. And out of all the infusions that were done in that 2 week period that ended week before last, we did 34% of all the monoclonal antibodies being provided in the whole FQHC world. So that suite over there is really rocking and rolling. I get so many reports. I just got another one today. Folks that have gone over there, and I get hear all kind of descriptions. It's like a smoothly running wheel. All gears are operating smoothly and efficiently and pleasantly, and makes everybody there feel comfortable, welcomed, and encouraged. I know the report that I got from a patient was they came in feeling really scared, not understanding, worried, concerned, and they left feeling much more confident, with hope and with a renewed determination. Once their 90-day wait, you have to wait 90 days after you get the monoclonal infusion. Once that 90-day wait was over, they were going out and getting vaccinated. So, good news. Remind everyone, though, that as far as our staff vaccinations, we're putting our Mobies on the road every Friday, and they're doing a circular route amongst all of the centers. You can go online. Randy sent out a schedule. Randy Carlisle sent out a schedule of where the Mobies will be and when they will be there, so that you don't have to travel around to figure out where you can get a vaccination. And they will have all three vaccines on the Moby. That's really a very cool thing. So you get a choice here. Johnson and Johnson, one shot. The Pfizer, two doses, and then the Moderna, two doses also. So you get a good choice here. Speaking of vaccines, everybody probably has by now heard the news around the boosters. Now, for those of us who are vaccinated, yes, boosters are now available. But here's the catch. The only booster that was approved was Pfizer. Now, Moderna is in the pipeline. They're making their application, but they are not approved yet. The only booster that has been approved is Pfizer. Every healthcare worker is eligible for that, but you had to have at least one Pfizer dose to be eligible for that, and it had to be at least 6 months since you've had it. A little complicated. Now, the general public, there's plenty of other guidelines too, being 65 and over, having a comorbid condition, or a health risk that makes you need or want the booster, and or also work in a occupation where you have a lot of front-facing risks. Teachers, grocery store workers, restaurant servers, all of those folks, and of course us healthcare workers all fall into that category. So the good news is if you have been vaccinated, if that vaccination included at least one dose of Pfizer and it's been at least 6 months, get your booster. The reason they offered those boosters, by the way, is because there was some evidence that those of us who got the shot early on, or the shots plural, early on, that immunity was beginning to decline a little bit. That's why you were seeing so many breakthrough cases. The immunity was declining a little bit. So if you are so inclined, get that booster. By the way, there is the incentive payment, and we are giving the incentive bonus for the booster also. Speaking of which, remember the incentive bonuses are still in place for any vaccination that you get, any full vaccination. So, for those of you who are working toward the goal, as I hope you are, we want to see you continually employed with us after December 31st. Yes, the incentive is still available for you. And now it's also available for those of us who got boosters. Now, if you really weren't completely confused, there is another shot. Well, it's the same shot, but this is for, and it came out several weeks ago, for the immunocompromised people. Those who, for a condition that they may have, there's a lot of things that cause people to have lower immunity, they could get a third dose of either Moderna or Pfizer. Um, once again, 6 months. Actually, I think they could get it sooner. I think they had to be only a few months after their last full immunization. But as if it wasn't confusing enough, so you got this group over here who could get either Pfizer or Moderna as a third vaccine, but only if they had a reduced immuni- immu, immunology, if their status had been immunocompromised. And then you got this group over here, the boosters, who could only get the booster if they had had Pfizer. I hope you're suitably confused because I know it is very, very confusing. I've been on several phone calls and folks that are expert in this, much more expert than I am, have gotten themselves confused. So I hope I didn't confuse you, and maybe I did. I will put it in writing a little bit more clear on my email. So, folks, come on, let's get ready for the end of the month. My favorite day, Halloween. It's time. Let's have some fun. Let's let fall come, and maybe we'll get some good fall weather on the way. Stay safe. Don't wait. Vaccinate. Bye bye.